Well, welcome everybody once again. This is Ken Bailey. We're going to talk to some people who were just on the corporate trip in Punta Cana, Mexico. Some new people, maybe their first trip. Some veterans, maybe been around a while, and they compare it to previous trips. You know, I was blessed to win the trip, but had some stuff pre-scheduled and couldn't be on it. And I got to say, I think I just froze up, didn't I?
No.
Okay.
No, we still hear you.
Okay, I got to say that maybe I had the most FOMO I've ever had, Sarah and Todd. You know, when I talked to Kim Gray and Susan Frank and people on the trip when they were there, and they're like, Ken, this is the best we've ever seen. And John and Kristi, and I was like, oh my goodness, for one I couldn't make it on. So we want to hear from those folks. And in fact, I'm gonna start off.
Let me add one thing there, is because in our business, when somebody quits or gets distracted, they always blame anything in the world but themselves. So although last year there are people that went on that trip that may not even really be working the business anymore, last year in the North American trip in the Bahamas, there were 70 people that won that trip. So although some of them may have gotten distracted and went a different direction in life, this year 180 people won the trip, and it'll be no difference next year. There'll be somebody in that 180 that life will grab them and they'll get distracted and they'll say, oh, that doesn't work. But next year there may be 300 people on that trip. So the company continues on being great with or without us. Always remember that. It's okay not to do this, but it's not okay to blame someone other than yourself that just life taking you a different direction, because this thing is in momentum and we're about to go all around the world.
Thanks, Todd. Now, I wasn't for sure who was going to be able to join us, but I just got a text. Get this, folks. April Huffman and Darla Wagner, they're still there for Todd by the pool, I understand. And April was able to make senior officer, which is a huge promotion in her company, while on this trip. And I know April and I were talking on, was it Thursday night, I believe, April, and we were making sure, or Friday, whenever it was, and she was saying, Ken, check this and make sure before I celebrate and go out on the beach and all this stuff. She was so excited. I am so excited for you, April. I want you to talk about a little bit about that title advancement, that promotion, what that means to you. And I believe this is your first trip of this kind. Talk about the trip and how that's gone.
Yes, this was a huge surprise. This is the first time we've ever been actually on a trip like this, where it's just been this luxurious. I mean, I never would have, honestly, this is one of my husband's first time ever even being away from our kids overnight. So in 12 years, we have not been nowhere. So this was nice to earn this and give us that push. And like I was telling somebody yesterday, I was like, people are crazy if they don't work the business just for these trips, because it's amazing.
Yeah.
And April, on these texts I was getting, I thought it was Darla. Susan Frank's still there with you. By the way, everybody knows Susan. Susan is a sponsor and Darla's sponsor. So they're there. Susan, you've done dozens and dozens and dozens of trips. How would you compare this and being able to be there with April and what's going on?
Oh, this has been absolutely incredible. And to have 100 and some brand partners here all together, all collaborating, all learning in paradise, and everything's covered. Like, yeah, we haven't spent $1. Okay. It's incredible.
Is it okay if we don't?
And go ahead, April. I didn't mean to cut you off there. That text was coming through. And I didn't know Susan was there with you. And we want to hear from Darla Wagner too. I think it's maybe her first trip with the company. Darla, go ahead.
It is our first trip here with the company. We came in and this was way more than we ever expected. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And Partner Co has really taken care of us this week.
And you extended your stay. All of you did, right? It must be a nice place.
It is an absolute gorgeous place. We'll do it again next year.
Absolutely.
Hey, Ken, can I add something? April, it was really interesting as we had a conversation. It was a year ago to the day on Saturday that April showed up at my house. There were 50 some people in my living room a year ago, and April had just come in with the company. Came to my house that night, not really knowing anybody. And 1 year to the day later, we were celebrating her hitting senior officer in this beautiful place. So guys, 1 year later, and her life is completely changed.
I remember that, Sherry. I talked to him after. If you remember, April, I think Michelle McKay was even there.
She
It was just
was.
great.
Yes.
Yep, great event. But April, just tell us how you feel, how the future, what you think about the future of our company, and how to meet Dr. Plant and the owners and all that, and we'll move on here. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. It's just been amazing. I mean, it's so crazy to think that I just wanted the discount. I wanted nothing to do with the business. I was so against, this whole pyramid scheme and everything. And just my eyes opening to realize that, the corporate America job I was working was the pyramid scheme, and stuff. And so this is just, I mean, it has blessed my family and our wealth so much. And just hearing the founders and just the future plans and meeting with, I got to meet with Dan and Katy one-on-one and just talking to them and just hearing how much like they really care about us and they really want this company to grow, but they really want our input. Like they want to make sure we're all taken care of and that they're doing everything they can to help us to be successful. It just means so much.
Outstanding, April, and congratulations on senior officer.
Thank
We
you.
recognize the PXP and going forward. We're so proud of you and just love seeing it happen for people that work hard. Way to go, Susan. Always, way to go, Darla. I'm going to go to maybe two more first timers, then we're going to get to some veterans that compared to trips in the past. Stephani Pheffer, I know it was your first trip and you're one of our moderators. Let us know your feelings about how it went and what you're thinking about Partner Code.
I have to say it was amazing, and I was so proud of myself and excited and grateful to our team because I was able to bring my husband, Pete. I mean, I get a lot of hen time and I love connecting with the gals, but it was so awesome to share this with him. And because of his job in the past, we had fortunately been on a number of like high-level, beautiful sales trips. This was amazing from the combination of content, communication, adventure, having the accessibility of the owners and the staff, and then meeting Dr. Strand. And it felt like Christmas and Disney World, not having to pay for things, having been over in the Bahamas last year and having a VAT slapped on everything with our own family trip. It was just amazing because we got to be people, humans. We got to have conversations. We were not in our hotel rooms locked into Zooms. Oh my God, oh my God. It's so key to balance, bless you, and to have the opportunity to even across lines, just sit with someone and pray at a meal or look at the beach. And it made all of the late night calls and the weekend calls and the Zooms and the cross line stuff 1,000% worth it. It's such a community of love and expansion and growth and health and vibrancy. So I just want to say thank you. Everyone, put that on your vision board, your bucket list, all of it for this year. And the way you get there is by helping other people below you get healthy and create their financial health. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Steph. By the way, I want to hear from a Canadian. Let's get Risha back on. Risha, you've been on some trips and so forth, and you've traveled. Give us your perspective.
Risha, make sure you tell us how many countries you flew through to get there.
Okay, I had a little bit of fun. I ended up flying into Mexico City, huge layover in Mexico City. Then I flew to Colombia. I always want to go to Colombia, right? Bogota. And then I ended up in the Dominican Republic. So it was an amazing effort just to get there. So I've been on several incentive trips. God bless my life. I've been so grateful. I have never, ever been to a beautiful diamond resort like this that, as Stephanie said, we were just so spoiled by the most delicious food, presentation extreme in the French restaurant and the Wave Steakhouse restaurant. The waiters, the service, every time they greeted you, they put their hand to the heart. The staff were so friendly. Top one, the corporate team looked after us like adult daycare. They were so amazing. They took us to the splash park where we did zip lining and swimming under the waterfalls. I went with Dan and Heather, and they encouraged me because I was scared, you know what, Liz, to take that first step. We made so many new friends. There was so much hugging. Oh my God, the beach, the Caribbean Ocean, it was so fantastic. And the property itself, I kept going in awe. Tanya Kelsey was my roommate. She's the best roommate in the world. And I kept going, look at the art. Look at the art. There's so much art in this hotel. It was truly a diamond resort. And I say this in my presentations, Ken, unless you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you will never in your lifetime receive a royal treatment trip like this.
Right.
Unless you work your business hard and get on with Partner Co. and get on next year's trip. It is so true. You'll never, ever get spoiled like you would on a trip like this. So Partner Co., the swag, the gifts, the extra, the parties, the bands. Oh my God, the prizes. So thankful, so grateful. And all the new friends, all the hugs. So much love, so much family, so much community. I could go on. I could take over this. Oh, I
Outstanding,
could just
Risha.
go on.
My last one, my last new person, you mentioned Tanya Kelsey. Tanya and I were texting, was it this morning or last night, Tanya? I can't remember. I think it was early this morning. And she said it was a dream. So Tanya Kelsey, I know you're new and you've only been with the company a year or so, maybe a little over. Your first trip. Give us your perspective and how you felt, how you got pampered on this trip. You're unmuted, but we can't. There you go.
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
It was truly amazing. And honestly, I mean, I told you it was a dream and it truly was. Risha and I, we had the best time together getting to know someone on the Canada side and hearing what they do. Truly, it made me go, what in the world are we doing in the United States that we can't get this done? All the things, you know, the hoops they have to jump through. But the resort was fabulous. Risha was so right. I mean, you didn't spend any money. Everything was paid for. Everything was included. The skate park was amazing. She and I both were terrified, and we still did it. So, you know, it's exciting to do hard things and fun things, but I just feel so blessed and so thankful, and I will be there next year.
Outstanding. As John and Kristi, if you can go ahead and highlight them. John and Kristi have been around for years, been on not only a lot of company trips, but they travel in general. And Kristi in particular was talking this morning. Kristi, just share with the people y'all's perspective from being world travelers already, and you love Hawaii and all that. What's your perspective of this trip?
Impressed. That is the word. I was so impressed. I love like from the second you got there, where they brought the bags in, where they gave you your drink and a little welcome drink and a massage if you wanted one, and then your little gift bag. It was just so nice. And then you were whisked through the hotel, and the view when you go into that lobby and just the service. And by the way, we need to did y'all not love this whole, like, every time you walk down you saw an employee of any type, they would just put their hand on their heart and they would just kind of like, it was like a hello.
Service from the heart.
Service from the heart. Yeah. I loved it. It just made you feel good. You felt it. And I mean, everything from the food to the pools to the view to the room. I mean, everything. And I am a big traveler, and we're kind of bougie in our travel. But I will tell you, it was great. And you should, if you ever want to go on a trip, you need to get on a trip like this.
And here's the thing, and what the company does too, and especially as you hit certain levels or certain standards, they're gonna even kind of spoil you more, right? So, like, you know, Susan Cameron is like killing it, right? She had this
great
beautiful
room
big suite.
and, yeah.
You know, Partners Council, we got like little fruit and fruit kind of trays and cheese
delivered every night.
So these little special things like that.
It was super great.
So we talked to Katy, because, you know, we were in the Bahamas last year, and the Bahamas was a beautiful resort, but it was not all inclusive, and that was a big issue. So we had talked to Partners Council last year about how we cannot go back to something like that. They raised the level. I told Katy on the trip, I said, Katy, you have now set the bar up here for these regional trips. And we had like a quick run on the events and incentives committee. And so we had a brief meeting while we were in Punta Cana and talked about next year and what that's going to look like. And I think you're going to like next year. I think we got some ideas we're throwing out there. I think you're going to like next year. And we have definitely have raised the bar on these regional trips. So you got to get there.
And, you know, John, it's incredible. Think about this, folks. This is the North America trip. They're still got a Europe trip, an Asia trip. I mean, just amazing what corporate's doing, and their people in the travel park.
Katy and Lucy are traveling today to the Australia or Asia. They're headed over to Malaysia today.
Yeah,
exactly.
And Ariana was headed to the Canary Islands to meet a bunch of European leaders for a vacation there. So like this is going on nonstop globally. Blows the
Yeah,
mind.
and so Robin Demio, we want to hear from some of Brent's team. So Robin Demio, if Tammy's out there, Brenda, she's going to talk about it, but let's hear from Robin first. Give us your perspective, Robin.
Oh my gosh, you guys. This was probably my 6th or 7th reward trip and absolutely the top. Absolutely over the top. And one of the reasons, if you have never been on a reward trip, you must go not only to experience the reward itself, but because you want to connect with the top leaders on other teams, get ideas, go pick their brain. That's why we're here. That's why we go, so that we can all share. Because when we grow as a company, you know, all ships rise with the tide. And we had so much fun. And I want to tell you, Steph and I and Pete and my daughter actually got to come. So my daughter built a business in Limu. And then life happened, you know, and the way her organization was set up qualified her to get on this trip. And she's a single mother. So for her to have a beautiful trip like this and come, all expenses paid, wow, that was on the over the top as well. But Steph and I, you know, we were a little chicken to do Superman, the Superman flying high zip line. And we were, you know, I was praying, okay, Jesus, you got to help me here. And guess who shows up right next to us? Sherry Keye and her husband. And Sherry is a zip line trainer, and she helped us along, encouraged us. It was phenomenal. Broke my fear barrier. You guys have to go. You have to go. So set your sight and don't waver. Do not waver, because you know what happens, right? You guys, you all know we let our life get in the way. We let our life get in the way and we veer off of our goal. And we can't veer off our goal. And I'll tell you what, one really important thing for me this year was, as you all know, many of you know, it's been a very difficult year for me and personally. And so I just know, be consistent, even in the little things. Be consistent, because my consistency in the little things still got me on this trip. It's still got, and my income has raised drastically in this last year. So you know where we're going. The vision cast was incredible. You know, even, you know, who wants to go to a meeting when you're in these kind of places, right? Wow. We were like, oh my gosh. So thank you for letting me share.
Sure, Robin. And by the way, folks, we know there's a lot of new people on here. We call this our IPA call, which stands for income producing activities. And we're not going to get to the actual details today of income producing activities like we typically do, but guess how you win these trips? By producing income. Okay. So it all comes in together. So we got a couple of hands up that I know we're on the trip. Tracey Mazeroski, would you share with us your perspective there, Tracey? We need you to unmute. Tracey Mazeroski.
There I am. Good morning, everybody. I just have to give you a perspective from a newbie point of view. I've never been in this industry. I got in a year ago with some major health issues, and my testimony, I was pretty hopeless a year ago. And to think that I would get to go on an incentive trip and take not only my 2 daughters, my 2 son-in-laws, and we all earned it for free. And I could cry right now, because this was a time of my life. And a year ago, I thought was never possible. And I want to say to everybody that's out there that thinks you can't do it, oh, yes, you can. And I'm going to cheer you on. And I want to see you next year on the trip. It was fabulous. Excellence in every area. And we've got the best company going. And that's all I wanted to share, Ken.
Outstanding, Tracey. And I'm going to turn it over to Brenda to kind of finish us up here. She was going to be our moderator today. But Brenda, you've got some experience in the industry. I don't know how many trips you've been on. I know you travel anyway. Give us your perspective of the trip. And then if there's anyone maybe on your team or something you want to talk about the trip to close us out there.
Thank you, Ken. Yes, you know, I was just thinking, oh, wow, how many have I been on? Okay, so for 11 years we traveled. Multiple 5-star resorts, Mexico, Grand Canyon, Grand Caymans, cruises. I thought we've done all. For me, excellence is a big deal. Before I said yes to this company, I asked Tammy 4 questions. Who's at the helm of this company? What is the integrity? How long has it been around? And why haven't I heard about this company? This is my industry. When I got the answers to those questions, I came forward. And Ken, man, am I glad I did. This, looking back at all the things that I've been and done, and my husband and I, we've traveled. This was an 8-star trip. And what that told me after watching corporate, after watching who's at the helm of this company, hearing John and Darren's heart, not only theirs, but their family, seeing their family, that speaks volumes to me. Who are you? Whatever is inside your heart, that is what comes out. Y'all, we are at the right place. It is the most amazing company. The place was off the chart. Getting up every morning, running down to the beach. We stayed up lots of midnight 30 hours. You know, we saw midnight all the time. But getting up, it drove us to see the beaches, to see how clean. There was not one piece of paper, not one trash. Everything from the room to the facilities, and we were all over the place in both sides, the adult side, the family side, just seeing the grounds. Okay, that is because of our company. They already scouted that out. So I'm telling you, it was amazing. Okay, then for me, my takeaway on the whole thing was every person that I got to spend time with. John and Kristi Oakey, Tanya, I could just go on. Risha, thank you for hours that you spent with Amber and I. Just all the different groups that we got. Hey, come sit with us at dinner. Come over here with us. Come play in the slides in the water. Y'all, it was so amazing. And then hearing how other people build their teams, the relationship, the team building that they do. Learning all of that was what we get to take away. And you're seeing the foundation of what this company is built on and the excitement for what is to come. It is so big. I still can't articulate what is coming, but I sat on the beach and I watched the waves, and y'all have heard me talk about the waves that are built way out in the ocean and what is coming. And y'all, it is so big. I encourage you, stay in the game. Just stay in the game. You do not want to miss what is happening with this company and what we've got our hands on. Not only for us, not only for our family and our legacy, but for other people, y'all. You have to get there. You have to understand what we have our hands on.
Brenda, I got to add there something John and Kristi mentioned in the things, families. Our owners had their children there, so it's welcome. And folks, this is being recorded, so those of you who are watching this and you're hearing all about this trip, understand that this trip is just the 8th way that we're paid. We get these points and we can turn in for trips. That's a perk. Guys, there's other 7 ways that we're paid. If you're looking at this and thinking, well, is it all just about trips? Oh, no, it's the best trip ever, apparently. But there's so much more to this company, and just so well said, Brenda.
And getting to spend time with, I spent, I don't even know how long, with Jane, John and Amy's daughter. And she was so excited about going on a mission trip to Uruguay. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, these people they're so real. All the kids were there. Amy, one of their daughters had got a drink. She worked hard for a horse and she got a horse. And then she got to the competition. So Amy had to leave, and just hearing how they do life. I want to do life like that. That aligns with my beliefs and my core values. Family, relationships, people.
Yeah, and Brenda, last thing I want to say, folks, as exciting as this is, as exciting the hire of Dr. Plan is, guys, if we don't do the fundamentals, the IPAs, it won't matter to us individually, right?
That's right.
Go out and take advantage of what you're now blessed to know about. You're at the right place at the right time, maybe for the first time in your life, But if we don't do the fundamentals, I mean, you can have super talent on a football team. Todd knows this, but if they don't know the fundamentals, it doesn't matter. So do the fundamentals, do the IPAs, do the posting, do the Zooms, do the one-on-ones, two-on-ones, do the meetings so that you can earn a trip like this and be a part of what's going to be the next billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar company.
That's right, Ken. And you know, it doesn't matter whether you believe it or not, or whether you like it or not. Our system of growth flat out works, and you need to get in the game. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to call on Tracy before we lose her. Tracy Hun, unmute and share with us. I got to see you in passing in restaurants, but tell us what you took away.
I just want to say we are so blessed and highly favored. And you know what? The Lord, just opened up the door for us to join this company a year ago. I just want to shout out to Tracey Mazeroski. I just want to thank her again and again for just saying yes. For saying yes and being afraid and doing it hard, but she's just led the way in our group. But as far as the group, I just felt building relationships, and I'm kind of people think I'm an extrovert, but I'm kind of like in the background a little bit. I'm kind of quiet at times. It's kind of crazy, but I kind of come out of my shell a little bit more. But I got my bucket list. I ziplined on every one of them, and then I got dropped in the water at the end, and just seeing relationships being built. But I love so many of you are so down to earth that it's just so life-giving. Because you know what, you don't see that everywhere. I've been with other companies. It's just life-giving that, you came up and said, hey, how you doing? Some people didn't even know each other, but it's just life-giving and just energizing. I'll be honest with you, it was a long trip home last night, but I sold 7 boxes on the way home because I was motivated to keep on going. And I just love you all, and I just love this company and just blessed to be a part of it. So thank you so much. And go Todd Rowland. I don't know if he's on here or not, but he got his bucket list too.
Yeah.
At
Tracy,
pickleball.
yeah. So for those that don't know, I'm sorry, Lucy West is always talking about she's the greatest at pickleball. She plays every morning. And then we all know Michelle McKay's Mississippi tennis star. And so thanks to Tracy, we beat them in pickleball, and we've got bragging rights forever because I'm not going to give them another chance. I'm just going to go down winning.
Hey, but what Todd doesn't tell you is we beat them first.
Sarah, you can edit. Sarah's going to edit the recording. You can leave whichever one you want in there.